started, Jason, could you please walk me through your elevator pitch?
Right. So basically, UProspie is an online social platform that connects high school students and college students based off of similar backgrounds or similar interests. Right now, a lot of students, they don't know too much about college culture, and a lot of times it's very different, or it's very difficult to separate each school from another. And so we hope that through UProspie we can not only empower the student body on campus, but we can also offer more information and better information to students who are applying to college.
So how did you come up with this idea? Is it based on your own experiences applying to college?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it, there was like an amalgamation of ideas that, came to create UProspie. Two of the biggest factors, one of which was me choosing to come to UChicago. As a prospie, I was really skeptic because, stereotypes about how this is where fun goes to die and everyone is only studying. But after I came here, I realized that it's a lot more lively, and the entrepreneurship program here is not known, but it's so great. And a large part of what I want to do is basically show that to the rest of the world, and really be able to represent the school in its most purest, I guess, form, not just define it through a stereotype. Another side of this is after I got involved with Money Think, a club on campus, I was able to connect with students on the south side of Chicago and also in the city. And I realized that college for a lot of students isn't necessarily on their minds, even though I think it should be. And so a part of UProspie is to basically encourage students to reach higher. Oftentimes students, they don't necessarily have the resources, or they don't have the necessary role models. But with UProspie, students can find students or other students who are from the similar backgrounds, and therefore they'll be able to meet them and connect with them to learn more about their application process.
So would you say that the idea has relatively stayed the same, or did you come up with something different at first? What was the progression of the idea?
Right. So the idea originally came at 3-Day Startup. The idea was basically to have overnight visits on campus, but it soon evolved to doing day visits, and then later on we included the part about the online side of it because we wanted to reach a higher population, and we wanted to make this product available for more diverse groups.
Okay, so sort of shifting to you, what would you say your biggest personal influence has been?
Yeah, I think my biggest influence has been just being in college. In high school, I went to a very good high school, but in college at the University of Chicago, I'm inspired every day by many people doing their own extracurricular activities, by following their passions. And so a lot of it, that's what inspires me, because I see everyone chasing their own dreams, doing what they really love, and I realize that I'm paying a lot of money to be in college, and so the most I can do, or the least I can do, is to simply do what I love and follow my passions.
So have you always been interested in entrepreneurship? Could you tell me a bit about your progression into this field? Yeah,
absolutely. So for me, entrepreneurship kind of, I guess the business side of it began when I was about 13 years old. When I was in high school, I founded a company called Iretron. It's a social enterprise that buys back used electronics and resells and donates them to schools and hospitals. That way people will earn money, it's good for the environment. And I think that was my little crash course in entrepreneurship. It was a lot of fun, I learned a lot. Eventually we were able to get on the show Shark Tank, in which I received an investment from Mark Cuban and Barbara Corcoran. And so that overall experience was really great, and it's still operating right now actually. But ever since coming to college, I found new passions in education, and I really wanted to create a new project to basically create a new project that can, I guess, fulfill my needs.
So would you say at the moment you have a mentor, and have you stayed in touch with the judges from Shark Tank?
Yeah, so Mark actually is helping me right now with UProspie. We're talking back and forth about what I need and what he can provide. And in terms of mentorship, I'm also in a fellowship called Future Founders here in Chicago. So as a first year, I didn't really know anyone coming to this new city. And so I did a lot of outreach. I just sent a lot of emails to people in the industry asking if they were interested in working with me or helping me. And surprisingly, I think a lot of entrepreneurs or business people in the area they want to see young entrepreneurs thrive, right? They want to help you. And so I don't have just like one mentor. Instead, I think there's a lot of people who have been incredibly helpful throughout this whole journey.
Back a bit to UProspie, like what do you think have been the biggest challenges and what things have been relatively easy that you wouldn't have expected them to be?
I think the easy part is knowing where to go and knowing like which direction to head in. Because of Iritron, and my partner is actually the founder of his own business called the Undergraduate Times. Working together, we were able to basically have more experience and we were able to talk things out. And so within about 4 to 5 months, we were able to get a full product and do beta tests. And I think that's extremely fast, and that's something that I'm personally proud of. What's difficult is understanding this new industry. So, starting Iritron, it was basically to help the environment. It was an effort to battle e-waste. And so I learned a lot about, everything that goes into it. But now with UProspie, I'm touching more upon the education sector. And so the challenges have been just basically being able to know people, seeing what are the needs out there, what are the problems, and finding solutions to fix them.
So to the financial side, how did UProspie get funding?
Right. So UProspie is actually completely bootstrapped, meaning that I didn't put any of my own investments in, and none of our partners did. We raised money by going to competitions and applying for grants. And so, like, the first competition we went to was called a U-Pitch competition, in which we won about $1,500. And after that, we developed a more fuller product. And we went to Carnegie Mellon, Texas Christian University, Stanford, Las Vegas, Chicago, Northwestern, and we just hit up a lot of competitions, trying to make a name for ourselves and also to receive funding. And so in the last 5 weeks, we actually raised about $10,000 from just competitions.
So how would you say you balance work at UProspie and school?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that balancing UProspie and balancing school is no different than a football player or an athlete balancing their sport and balancing academics. I think people think of entrepreneurship as something that takes over their lives, and in part it's true. But the other half of it is that entrepreneurship is no different than someone doing an art project or doing a film project or being an athlete. I think whoever you are, whatever you do, as long as you excel in your field of study, as long as you're happy doing what you want, there's no difference whether you're an entrepreneur or if you're an athlete.
Sort of shifting a bit, what would you recommend to other undergraduates who are interested in entrepreneurship and startups?
Right. So recently I did like a TED Talk, TEDxU Chicago, and I talked about this concept that I think is, I don't know if has been coined already, but I call it everyday entrepreneurship. And I think, it's very difficult to just one day say, I want to start a business. But what people can do is take little steps, right? Whether it's introducing yourself to a random stranger and pitching an idea, or going to an event that you normally wouldn't go to. I think these things, trying out new experiences, learning, and being curious is all a part of entrepreneurship. And slowly, I think we can expand ourselves, we can become more, risk-loving, and eventually, once you find something that you really care about, then naturally, you're going to be drawn to finding a solution. And oftentimes, the solution will take on the form of a business.
And so if someone's interested in joining UProspie or another startup, what would you recommend to them? What do you look for in a team member?
Right. I guess for a team member, I just want to be able to work with someone who is passionate, whose goals fall in line with mine. Right now, the team consists of myself, my partner Raymond, who lives in the same house, and my friend Matthew, who goes to Columbia University. But at the same time, we have a lot of other friends, such as Jenny from Northwestern, Jeremy from University of Michigan. We all are very passionate and excited about this product. We believe that it can really make a difference. And that's where we're all working together. And so this summer, actually, we're hiring interns to work at our house in San Francisco. So it'll be a lot of fun, and we hope to be extremely productive.
So to wrap up, what do you think is next for you and UProspie?
Right. Well, I'm only a first year, and as this year comes to a close, in retrospect, I think I could have done a lot more in terms of like my own endeavors. I think the upcoming years, I want to be able to expand UProspie into other schools. I want to make this a product that everyone can use. I want it to be something that really helps undergraduate students and also prospective students. As for myself, I think entrepreneurship has become a really big part of my life. Most recently, I partnered with MoneyThink to donate iPads and host our own business competition for students in the South Side. And I want to be able to basically continue with that, continue spreading the spirit of entrepreneurship to students here and all over the world.
On behalf of Maroon TV, I'd like to thank you, Jason, for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.